back here. Okay, so just want to touch quick on Linode, one of our sponsors. Linode, I've used them myself at Userscape for 12 years, 13 years, something like that. We have 10 servers there, at least, maybe more. So definitely recommend Linode. Check them out. Always really fast. We never have any trouble over there. So just really great solutions, backups, all that stuff. Works with Forge. So highly recommend Linode. And all new users get $100 credit. So I mean, which is like obviously months of a small server. So check that out, Laracon 2021. There's also a link in the swag page that takes you right there to sign up and has the offer embedded. So you get the $100 credit right away. So thanks again to Linode. All right. Diana in. Okay, she's almost here. Oh, just need to unmute, I think.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Can you see me?
Now I can't see you, but I can hear. Oh, there, now I can see you. Now I can see you and hear you.
Okay, this is great. Zoom just is taking a second all the time if I have my camera here.
No problem at all. All right, so I'll let you take it away.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck.
Let me just share my screen. So, can you see something?
Yep.
Now you should see my first slide.
I do.
This is great. Thank
You're
you.
all set.
Okay, so before we start, let me introduce myself. Hello, I'm Dee, and I'm from Germany. I'm a software developer at Beyond Code. At Beyond Code, we make tools for developers, tools for you to make your workflow easier, better, and coding just more fun. We are also sponsoring Laracon this year, so make sure you check out some of the digital swag we have. I also do some open source work over at 5am Code, which I co-founded. One of our newest projects is the Laravel Notion API, which is pretty exciting. And nothing of what I do would be possible without my awesome assistant. This is Lotta. She's from Spain, and she had an awesome idea. She said I should share some additional content after the talk on Twitter. So if you're interested, follow me on Twitter at DianaWebDev. With that, let's dive right into it. First things first. This is not a talk like, look at my perfect and shiny fancy career. I made a lot of mistakes along the way, and by sharing the lessons I learned with you, I hope to save you from making at least some of the same mistakes. But mistakes aren't bad in general. Failure isn't fatal, as Winston Churchill said sometime. The only thing that counts is the courage to continue. And you can take this quote like as the whole mindset of this talk today. When it comes to career advice, you often hear phrases like, find your passion, do what you love what you do. And nothing is wrong about these in general, but they are kind of worn out and not useful for your career. I will come to this a little later again. And this is not a talk like this. You won't hear any phrase from me today. Every story I tell you is out of my own experience. Every advice I give you is battle tested on my own battlefield, on my own career. So for today, I have the following promise for you. No bullshit. To start, I want you to think about Monday. Not next Monday or any Monday in particular. Just Monday as the general start of your work week. Imagine the following. You sit at dinner on Sunday evening, you had a great weekend, and suddenly you have the following thought in your head. I have to work tomorrow. Ask yourself for 2 seconds, how do you feel? Do you feel like, hell yeah, tomorrow is Monday, I can't wait? Or is it more like, weekend is fine, but work is also fine. well, okay, let's work? Or is Monday just nothing but, oh no, I don't want to, go away, let me sleep? Of course, not every Monday will be the same. One Monday will be great, next Monday won't be that great. Just take an average for yourself. And if you're not in this range between hell yeah Monday and well, okay, I suggest you think about changing something. Nothing drastic, like quitting your job tomorrow, please don't. Because think about it like about software development. If you have an application that has grown over a few years, it will have some bugs and performance issues. That's just how software development works. And just because of these issues, you won't start from scratch and throw it away because of that. You will work on it in several iterations to make it better. And the same approach you can use for your career as well. But actually, how to change something? I mean, I know it's hard. You're caught in this day-to-day loop between work and your family and so many things to care about and all the stress from the outside, like a pandemic and whatever. So it's hard to catch what you're doing right now and where should you start changing something? But I think as developers, we have an advantage. We have analytic minds. So if we see a bug, a problem, something that isn't running as smooth as it should, we have the urge to work on it. So in the best case, after working on it, we have a solution, but at least we have made some progress. Progress and change is just in our nature as developers. And I think this is a real advantage for our career. Little warning ahead. I'm afraid it's not as easy as software development, but I think we will find a way together. With that, back to the Mondays. I thought about Mondays a lot in the past, and at some point I realized that there is something like a Monday feeling, and that I can use it as an indicator on how satisfied I am with my career right now. The Monday feeling is one of the first of 4 indicators I found about, and it's just like, is Monday my friend, or does he hit me in the face? You can use the Monday feeling as a weekly check-in on how satisfied you are with your career, with your situation. And if you're not sure, if you're in this range between hell yeah and well, okay, like I showed you, I suggest you take action and keep track of your Monday feeling. It's quite simple. Just take a piece of paper or open up a new Notion page, doesn't matter, and write 1 sentence every Sunday evening about how you feel about the upcoming work week or Monday. I did this some time ago, and yeah, I took it a step further. You know, I had this great job quite early in my career. It was really great. I had an awesome team. I had awesome work. I did Laravel there. It was well paid. But at some time, it started to suck. And to be honest with you, I had a quite bad mental state at this time in my life. So I wasn't sure, is it just me that everything sucks right now, or is really something wrong with my job? So I opened up a new Notion page, like I always do, and I asked myself every day, every work day, the following questions. What did you do on that work day, and how did you feel about it? I dig deep into my Notion archives for you, and I found some entries that might be interesting. I wrote something like, I'm afraid that I unlearned to make good user interfaces. What I do feels a bit useless. I had a call with the client, I actually remember this one, where we identified several problems in our tech stack, in our process, but in the end, we shouldn't change anything. And this just didn't make any sense for me. I was bored and I wanted to do everything else except for my work. I kept track for this about 3 months, I think. And after that, I had proof for myself. I had the confirmation for myself that something was wrong and I had to change something. Another indicator I found out about a few months ago is the dollar index. It's quite simple. Do you earn money or do you get paid pain compensation. It's quite easy to check this, to use this as a monthly check-in. Just ask yourself every time your salary arrives or your paycheck comes in, how does it feel? Is it a real reward for your work, or is it really just pain compensation? As long as my job, doesn't matter which one now, was good, time just flew by. Oh, okay, it's paycheck time again. This is great, but where did this last 30 days or whatever go? But as soon as my job tilted into a direction that wasn't that good, I caught myself thinking, okay, this is bad and this is bad and it sucks. I don't have fun anymore, but at least I get paid well. And there I was like, okay, stop it. You have to change something because money is damn important. I know that. For everyone, money is important. But our work, our daily work, is a too big part of our lives that anybody should just work for the money and be unhappy about it. It's not worth it. So I have another mind experiment for you. A lot to think for you today in my talk. Imagine you sit down on your desk tomorrow morning. You're just about to get started for the workday, but suddenly your boss calls and she tells you, you don't have to work anymore. You're not fired. You're not fired. Everything is fine. You get your income just as you're used to. Everything is handled. No worries. Everything is fine. But you don't have to work anymore. Ask yourself, how fast do you walk away? Do you just stand up and walk away? Do you even consider staying where you are, pretending nothing happened and proceed with your work? Or do you run away? What is your escape speed for your current job? How fast would you run away if nothing would matter? If you ask me today, yeah, I would stand up, I would stretch a little, and then I would go for a walk with my dog. But in the afternoon, I would return to my desk and work on this great new Invoker feature or Tinkerell or whatever is on the plate for today. If you asked me some time ago, yeah, I don't have a story for you, but I can just show you. I mean, I would jump out of this damn window to get out of this company. You can ask yourself, how fast is my escape speed? As many times as you want, especially if you're not sure if you're doing the right thing in your career right now. So this is my coffee reminder. Because I have a little story for you. I have to freshen up my voice for this a bit. This story includes everything a good story needs. It includes coding, it includes heartbreak, and a happy ending. Let me tell you how I started coding. When I was 10 years old, I wrote my first lines of good old HTML. Soon, a few lines of CSS came along the way, and after a few months in, yeah, there was some PHP code. Over the years, I learned about new languages, frameworks, technology, but PHP was and is my language. I mean, I love PHP. That's a fact. I love it with all its flaws. But can you imagine that at some point, not that long ago, my love for PHP vanished and my love for coding nearly broke completely? Let me tell you how this could happen. I had this great job early in my career. I already told you about this one. And I got assigned to a new client. To be honest, the code base was just hell. It was PHP code, but grown over 15 years. It had no framework, it had no version control until some point, and it was just a complete mess. At first, it was a challenge for me because this is how I work. Show me a bad system, and I will throw everything I know about good code at it to make it better. This is how I work. But at some point, I realized this wasn't what the client wanted. The client wanted it to work, with big air quotes here. And we had different definitions of a working system. So in the end, I was running around all the time, extinguishing fires, helping my coworkers, adding duct tape everywhere. It was a catastrophe for me. I mean, I showed you this daily log before, and this is basically about this client. And after some time, I got into a coping mechanism that every developer has sometime, I think. When in doubt, start a side project. Nothing is wrong about a side project. They can be great. But I got full into it. I mean, I worked weekends, I worked late evenings. I was hungry for work with purpose, for good code. I even learned a new language and a new framework just because I didn't want to see any line of web development code anymore. I wanted my love for coding back. And at that time, I realized that there is another indicator. It's the side project count. I will do everything else, but please, no code from work, please. Please don't. And it's quite easy to check this one, because just every time you type git init or Laravel new for a new side project, ask yourself, why are you doing this? Are you coping like I did? Or do you just can't get enough of coding? Then I say, take care of yourself, remember your breaks, but go for it. Okay, so I told you about the 4 indicators I found out about: the Monday feeling, the dollar index, the escape speed, and the side project count. And you can use these indicators to evaluate your current career situation. And if you say, okay, let me think for a minute, everything is fine for me, then I'm really happy for you. I mean, everything is fine for me right now too, but it's quite likely that it won't be like this forever. And you decide that you have to change something. So how do you actually start? And for this, I have something for you. In the last few years, I was able to collect the 5 fixes for your career. Yeah, and this is bullshit. I promise you no bullshit today, so I'll be honest with you. There is no fix, no quick fix, no workaround that will fix your career in a minute, a week, or even a year. The only thing that you can change within the blink of an eye, not even a second, is your mindset. So I suggest we go with 4 impulses for your career mindset. The first impulse I have for you is the most important one. What is success? And why is this so important? So for this, let's hop into software development for a minute again. What is the first thing that you do when you start a new project? Do you just hop into your IDE and hack as many lines of code as possible? Or do you go into your terminal and type git init? You don't. The first thing that you do, even before you start touching your keyboard, is that you have an idea in your head. Before you start, you think. And you should apply the same for your career. Before starting your career or changing directions, think. So let's think together about success. How does success look like? Does success look like working in a super fancy corporation, driving the Tesla? I want this Tesla, please. Thank you. And having this great mansion with a pool and everything you can imagine? Or is success working at a startup in a great team, working on your couch next to your cat, go surfing after 5 p.m.? Or is success just traveling the world, seeing a new country each month, and just work wherever you are on your own? Tell you something, none of this is success. Success is individual for every one of us, looks different for every one of us. So instead of asking what is success, you should ask, what is success for you? After I quit my last job, I was kind of lost. I didn't know what should be my next step be. What should I do? So I sat down and opened up that new Notion page again. And I thought for about a day about how does success look for me? And I came up with 3 points. First thing, I don't want to be rich, but I don't want to count every penny that I spend. I want to work remote, so I can work just wherever I am, so I can travel as soon as we are allowed again. And I can sit like next to this great dog that I have. And the third point is I want to work in a team where I can grow and where I can learn something new every day. After I realized this, I could commit to a goal and take steps in a specific direction to reach that goal. Spoiler, I'm quite where I want to be right now. Okay, I assume you heard at least one of these at some point in your career. Do what you love what you do. Follow your passion, work hard, dream big, do it with passion or not at all. So you only need to find your passion, and that great career you're dreaming of and all the success we just thought of will just come by itself. I'm afraid these quotes, when it comes to career advice, they are a bit bullshit again. Let me tell you why. Think about your daily job as a developer. Do you get paid because you're passionate about Laravel or PHP, you name it? You don't, because passion pays no bills. You get paid because you fix a bug, you implement a new feature, and you build a great new system. You get paid because you serve a greater purpose, and purpose pays bills. Passion is just about you and the thing that you're passionate about. Purpose is about your work, the outcome of your work, and the influence on others. Nothing is inherently wrong about passion. It can help you to become a great developer. I'm passionate about Laravel, that's a fact. But passion is very dangerous for your career because passion can trap you. I know this because I was in this passion trap for a few years. I had a great job a few years ago. It was a Laravel job as well, and this was the first position where I really worked as a software developer, and yeah, I learned to love Laravel there. I worked overtime by choice, and I didn't even have need for a vacation, and this is not healthy. I just loved what I did for coding here, and at some point, I even neglected obvious problems about my job and the company. My passion made it hard for me to quit. I built some false loyalty just because of my passion. Nothing is wrong about loving what you do. Let me say this again. This is not wrong. But that doesn't mean that you should ignore just everything else around it. So sometimes you're stuck and just everything sucks. And before you continue with your complaining and this everything's bad circle, stop for a minute and consider your perspective. For example, do you hate this entry-level position because it's not that well paid and you think you're too good for it? In this specific case, it may be just your ego talking. Change your perspective, because perspective matters. With this entry-level position or internship, for example, where you do stuff for other people, you get exclusive insights. By dealing with a lot of people, you're building connections. Reduce your ego so you can absorb everything around you like a sponge. So, because the only thing that you can collect in an infinite amount is experience. This doesn't mean that you should exploit yourself, so please take care of yourself as well. But there are more situations in which a change in your perspective can enhance your whole perception of something and improve your feeling about a situation. And this makes you able to take steps in directions that you didn't even consider before. Of course, you can still be stuck regardless of your perspective. And in some situations, the costs of quitting are just too high. In this case, I found out about something that can help you here. I call it embracing adversity. It means that you take the obstacle in your way and turn it into your advantage. In simpler terms, you make the best out of a bad situation. This approach is unique for every situation, so I don't have a catchy advice phrase for you here, but I will tell you a story to give you an example on how this approach helped me over a really hard time in my life. This is not a funny story. After I finished school, I started an apprenticeship for software development. This means you work at a company for about a quarter of a wage, and you also go to a dedicated school where you learn specific things for this job. After you finish, you get a certificate, and here in Germany, we love a good certificate. It's quite something. At first, it was quite cool. But after some time, I realized that all the indicators I told you before were like flashing red. And this had several reasons. First thing, in this company, there was nothing like a work-life balance. But the second reason was the bigger problem. I was the only girl in my class. And at some point, the other guys started bullying me for the only reason that I am a girl. They actually said this. They said something like, you don't belong here. You belong into a kitchen or a hairdresser shop. They made fun of me. Even the teachers at the school told weird jokes about women in my presence. And some of the guys even tried to sabotage my work, my code at the company. This went on for a few months, and at some point, I just couldn't do this anymore. I knew I could not keep going like this. And I had three options. First option, quitting, dropping out. But this wasn't an option for me because I still liked coding and I wanted that certificate, so no option. Second, try to go on like this for 3 more years. But this wasn't a choice for me as well, either because I knew I couldn't endure this any longer. Third option, skip classes and finish the whole thing in about 2 years before all the other guys. So I tried to take energy from the desperation, from the anger in me, from the fear, from the constant threat, and use it for studying. And it worked. I got really good grades. I could skip classes and finish the whole thing in not quite 2 years. I turned down every job offer from that company to work there as a full software developer and went straight to university. Embracing the adversity, in my case, meant to push myself over my limits, learning how to deal with difficult people. And this is the important one, I think. I learned how to distance myself emotionally from the situation. But of course, it can be that nothing works. You change your perspective, you embrace adversity, but nothing works. And then it is important that you remember that you can always quit. Not today, not next week, but remember that nobody forces you to work where you are working right now. You might say, yeah, but everybody will know that I failed. This is your ego talking again, and I think you should change this. Or you say something like, I'm stronger than this. Ask yourself, what for? What for are you stronger? Keep in mind that you can always quit, because otherwise your career can become your prison, and we don't want that. So enough of the dark talk. No sad story more for today. Let's wrap it up. I told you about 4 indicators that you can use as tools to evaluate your career. And I gave you 4 impulses that you can work with if you want to change something. And with these, it was possible for me to fix my career. Where I am now, I want to stay for a while. That's a fact. But I also promised you no bullshit. So this might not work for you, none of this. I mean, you can go to the most fancy school, get an awesome internship at a fancy corporation, work with these approaches and tools and whatever, and still end up on the street. In today's world, you don't have any guarantees anymore. But I can give you the following promise. If you work with these indicators and these impulses, edit them to make them better just for you, you will develop a mindset that will bring you forward just by itself. You will go from reacting to acting, to forming your own way. You will go from bug fixing your career to developing your career. And in the end, you will grow. And that's the whole point. And with that, say thank you so much for watching. I hope you take something with you today. If you have questions or want to start a little discussion, you can do it on Twitter or the Laracon chat, I think it's called. So maybe see you there. And with that, back to Ian. Thank you.
Wow, amazing job. Just
thank you.
Powerful, really great job. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate sharing that with all of us. It was great. People are going crazy. They love it.
Okay.
And I know
good thing that I didn't notice.
Dee had some adversity this morning as well with some internet issues and everything. So a little extra stress on top, but no, amazing job. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.